Thank you, Mr. Kolkombe. Dear friends, it's an honor for me to chair this very important conference with such distinguished panelists from the United States and Europe. We are here from different countries, different political tendencies, but we have one common issue which brings us together, the respect for human rights and the rule of law. One thing we have done in Belgium with Mrs. Rajali was to invite her in the Belgian Senate. Officially or unofficially, it was very difficult. And just before coming here today, I phoned to the Senate in Belgium. I say, I continue this relation that we have taken at that time. And they say, oh, from that first meeting, we have added one security door. So this means how they feel about this. It is in this framework that we are all united in our support for the rights of the people of Ashraf. Today, the case of Ashraf is a universal humanitarian issue, and I hope that we will succeed in having the international bodies that are in charge of saying that this is the right of asylum, this is the refugee status, this is what is our objective now. Some of these bodies, and especially the UNHCR, they are in charge of taking the determination of the statute, and we have to succeed in this field. Because it is too easy, and I'm sure you have followed all this ceremony of Srebrenica. It was even at the time where Srebrenica massacre happened, it was not very difficult to understand what was the objective against the Muslim people in Srebrenica, and especially against the men. It was so evident what happened. And the attitude of UN to say, oh, we are not in charge of that, just we withdraw, was really bad. And what we are trying to convince US now is that the same attitude could happen with US forces if they just say, oh, we are not in charge anymore and we withdraw from any responsibility in Ashraf. This is what we try to convince now in the US institution. And for that, in that respect, it is urgent to strongly reject a suggestion, a US suggestion, of relocating residents of Ashraf within Iraq. And also, one of the urgent objectives is to provide immediate protection for residents of Ashraf by setting up a UN team in Ashraf on the basis of 24/7. I think this is UNHCR, a statute, secondly, or in the same UN objective, the team, and then the responsibility of US forces, because without them it will be very difficult to really have a protection. Failure in this field will be very bad, like it was very bad for Netherlands in Srebrenica. And they lose their case in the Netherlands tribunal because of that. So we try to show also this very high level of responsibility in terms of protection, because it was a commitment of the US forces when they take the control of this area. I am sure that our panelists will address all these issues as well as other related issues which they deem appropriate. And I want especially to thank France Liberté also to be with us today, because from as far as I remember, it was also Mrs. Mitterrand's conviction that has pushed a lot of conviction into European. So thank you for being here. It's my honor now to introduce our first speaker, Mrs. Mariam Rajavi, the President-elect of the National Council of Resistance of Iran. Mrs. Rajavi has been leading the Iranian people in their efforts for regime change and establishment of democracy in Iran. I give her the floor.